Well, a fine fall day. Leaves are falling, they're turning, they're falling. We got leaves everywhere. And you know what else we got, guys? We got ghosts. And we got the blue moon. Oh, blue moon. Blue moon has been designated for today. And if you'll notice, some of you guys who've been watching the channel for a little while will notice blue moon. I just put his windshield back on. And I rearranged these mirrors a little bit. That wasn't just for style or beauty. That actually served a purpose because the mirrors stuck too high up. Kind of like they do on the Fat Boy. There ain't nothing I can do about that. But today, guys, we got ghosts. Let's dive into it, shall we? Excuse me, guys. All right, guys, welcome back to this episode of Rolling with T-Bone presents Spooktober episode 2. If you are new here, welcome in. You have the joy of catching Rolling with T-Bone in a very interesting time. That interesting time being, you have come in the middle of the movie series, or the series I'm doing, Rolling with T-Bone presents Spooktober, because Halloween being one of my favorite seasons and horror movies being one of my favorite genres. Basically what I do with these videos is I try to reintroduce you guys to movies that maybe you have already seen and perhaps forgotten, or introduce you to a new movie maybe you haven't seen yet. But either way, welcome in. If you are new here, I always ask that you go check out a couple of my other videos and make sure I'm what's right for you. If you have found this video as a new viewer, you have tuned in to episode 2. There's already one episode of the Spooktober series out. It is Nightmare on Elm Street. If you scroll down, you'll find it in my movie list, my video list. If you're old here, welcome back. As we do episode 2, and today's movie we're going to be focusing in on 13 Ghosts. That's right. Man, 13 Ghosts, guys. This movie came out in 2001 and visually changed everything, because it was just such a great movie. It was put together great. It had a great cast. Of course, in the cast you had Tony Shalhoub, whom some of you will remember from the old TV series Wings, or the TV series that made him the most famous was Monk, M-O-N-K, Monk, where he played a germophobic detective. Very popular TV show Monk was. But in this series, we find Tony Shalhoub, or in this movie, we find Tony Shalhoub. 13 Ghosts, yeah. So there was a good cast for this movie. You had, of course, Tony Shalhoub. You had Matthew Lillard. Matthew Lillard played a lot of, and he's been in a lot of stuff. The live-action Scooby-Doo movies. You may remember him as playing Shaggy. And you might remember him from another movie that's going to be in this series, and it might actually be the next episode. He played one of the killers in the original 1996 Scream movie. But that's Scream, and this is 13 Ghosts, and today we are talking about a movie that came out in 2001 called 13 Ghosts, and this is a remake. Although I have never saw the original 13 Ghosts, guys. The original 13 Ghosts movie came out in 1960. To my certain knowledge, I have never seen the original 1960 13 Ghosts. But I am a big fan of the 13 Ghosts movie that came out in 2001. Alright, guys, so the original ideal for this series, like I said, I want to introduce people to maybe horror movies that they've never seen, and there can be a lot of people, a lot of reasons for that. You know, maybe they're not a member of the horror genre, which is perfectly fine. Maybe their parents wouldn't let them watch horror movies when they were younger. But whatever the case may be, it is my firm hope that through this series, I can introduce you to a new genre and new movies that maybe you never got the opportunity to watch. And if it made this list, then it is a movie that I strongly recommend you going and watching. Now, 13 Ghosts sets up, 13 Ghosts kind of doesn't follow the original slasher horror movie. The slashers is one wing of the horror genre. 13 Ghosts falls under another wing, and it's more of the thriller horror. I don't want to say it's more evil than the slashers, but it has, to me, a very dynamic plot, in that if you close your eyes or you walk away from this movie while you're watching it for a couple, 2 or 3 minutes, you might end up completely lost. But the basis of this movie is that Tony Shalhoub's character has a daughter and a son, and they are trying to recover from their mother and his wife dying in a house fire. It opens up showing that, you know, his character has slipped into depression. The bills are piling up. Basically, he has past due bills, and he just really isn't paying attention to what's going on in his life because he misses his wife. Tony Shalhoub is one of those actors who can take any role and make it work. And in this role, you know, he got to go to, I'm sure for him, was some pretty deep places to make this character work. But it boils around to his uncle, which the character is Uncle Cyrus. Cyrus is in fact a ghost hunter who hunts down the most evil of evil ghosts. They were evil when they were alive. They died a very evil death, tragic death, and even in the afterlife they're still just as evil. But this movie offers a lot of twists, a lot of plot twists, a lot of character twists. And of course, outside of Tony Shalhoub and Matthew Lillard, you also have Shannon Elizabeth. Most of you in my genre, or not my genre, but my generation will remember, you know, the millennial generation, Gen X, will remember Shannon Elizabeth from the American Pie movies. Yes, it's that Shannon Elizabeth. And of course, to my male viewers who might have forgotten, Shannon Elizabeth also did a very good Playboy pictorial shoot. But nonetheless, the plot of the movie is that Uncle Cyrus dies, and he leaves Tony Shalhoub and his family, which they have a live-in nanny. Her name is Maggie. But he leaves them the house, and of course they don't think about moving to the house, although their house burnt and they're living in this small cramped apartment. But you know, maybe he can sell it and get enough money to get out of debt, and maybe get things back in line and hopefully get back on his feet. But nonetheless, Uncle Cyrus dies, and they go to this house where they are immediately met by the character played by Matthew Lillard, who he poses as either a cable repairman or an electrician or something like that. He's posing as when they get to the house, because he's searching the house for money, because as would later be unveiled in the TV or in the movie, was that Uncle Cyrus owed him money for work that he did that he never got paid for because Cyrus got killed. But anyway, it sets up the basis for what becomes a very, very good, story to be told. Now we find out that Uncle Cyrus, as a ghost hunter, had hunted down 12 exact ghosts. Now, I don't remember the name of all these ghosts, guys, but it goes to Latin, and each ghost is a sign. Like they have one ghost called the Jackal, one called the Jilted Lover, one called The Hammer. You kind of see where it's going, the title for all this. And basically the reason he was capturing these ghosts was that the house itself, which was all glass when the family first arrived on the scene, the whole house was nothing but glass. So it was beautifully done, because this house was made of glass inside and out. The interior walls were even glass, and on each pane of glass was etched in spells and incantations, all done in Latin to control the ghosts, because Cyrus was collecting the ghosts to take them to this house. So what he was doing in this house was basically the house turns out to be a machine. And this machine, in fact, I may explain this wrong, but I'm just going to explain it as to kind of what I remember about trying to figure out, because I never understood exactly what the point of the ghosts were, other than they were, their ectoplasm, I guess, or their essence would start the machine, and the machine would allow one human person to see into the past, the present, and the future. And Cyrus was very interested in his future, hence why he built the house, which is a machine that can do this, and he had went out and harvested these ghosts. But anyway, you get into the house, and of course everybody starts picking out rooms. And Maggie, the nanny. Now here I have watched reactions to this movie, and I've listened to other people talk about 13 Ghosts. And one of the they call it a plot hole. So if it's a plot hole, I'm going to go ahead and fill that hole right now. The plot hole being that the family was in financial straits. They didn't have money to pay for their bills, so why did they have a live-in nanny? Well, guys, it's not always about money, because when you have a live-in nanny, she is emotionally invested in the kids and in the mom, the dad. She's emotionally, so she's there because she loves the family. Plot hole filled, no more plot hole, okay? It's not all about money. Why do you think in a lot of them old movies, when you would go into an old castle and the family had lost their name and had lost all their money, there was still a butler, there was still a cook, there was still a driver, a maid? It was because they were invested emotionally in the family, and a lot of them had been doing it for generations, so where else were they going to go? But that's kind of the situation that we found Miss Maggie in. But anyway, everybody starts kind of doing exactly what Tony Shalhoub, who is dad, tells them not to do. And that is, they start separating and splitting up and going to different parts of this house, picking out rooms, bedrooms and such. Now the premise of seeing the ghost in this movie is you have to have a special pair of glasses called spectral optics. When you put these glasses on, they were clear frame glasses that had flashlights on the glasses handles. And when you turn these glasses on, you could see, in fact, the ghost. So each person finds glasses laying in the room. They put them on. They start exploring and experimenting the house. Pretty soon, the ghost, the house activates. And in intervals, a big round dialogue in the diatrope in the floor would start turning, and each time it would turn, the walls would shift their position and change. And also, as this was happening, the outside walls were being covered by metal, which means the house was enclosing itself. It was closing itself off at each time. So we end up with the ghost doing just a lot of damage, killing people. Matthew Lillard character, who was a ghost hunter, he would play a pretty big part in this movie, in that he was the one who was finding the ghosts and pointing them out to Cyrus. he had a talent for finding ghosts. That was his kind of his, you know, that was what he brought to the table, so to speak. But as the story goes on, of course, he gets killed. One of the assistants of Cyrus is there. He also gets killed. Tony Shalhoub's character doesn't get killed. The kids don't get killed, but and that was kind of one of the things too, was that all of the main characters pretty well much for the most part lived in this movie. But what this movie did, getting away kind of from the plot a little bit, what this movie did, this movie actually was very visually fantastic. And when this movie hit, 13 Ghosts came out in theaters. It was a pretty good success, because it debuted, I think, in October of 2001, and it debuted to pretty good fanfare. You know, it made its mark immediately, basically. But yeah, guys, I mean, 13, what it done was it set it up for that any movie coming after it was going to have to raise the bar. Then you get into CGI, you get into green screen. But man, 13 Ghosts, guys, it was a visual phenomenon for its time. Now, I will put this kind of disclaimer in my video. I'm sure there's a disclaimer in the movie somewhere. I can't remember exactly if there was, but if you're photosensitive, meaning if flashing lights, quick strobe lights, if that stuff messes with you, be very careful watching the movie 13 Ghosts, because although it's not constant, when the ghosts appear through the glasses, there is a flash. So there comes a point where there's a few flashes that are back to back. So if your eyes are photosensitive, please just kind of keep that in mind as you're watching this movie. But I tell you guys, 13 Ghosts, Tony Shalhoub was a great actor for this character, because it's kind of he kind of plays the character who wants to give up, but he knows he can't give up because he's got to fight for his kids, you know. And then we find out that his wife, who died in the house fire, was actually one of the ghosts in the house, and she was the gilded lover, meaning that one of the major twists is that Cyrus actually killed his nephew's wife so he could harvest her ghost. But that wasn't the only twisted thing Cyrus did. Cyrus turns out to be a pretty good bad guy in this movie. But I'm not going to give the ending of the movie away, guys, because I absolutely want you to go watch this movie and just enjoy the nostalgia of it. Just enjoy what this movie has to offer. Of course, like I said, Tony Shalhoub, he played in an old TV series that went back in the 90s. I think it went from like 93, 94, like all the way to 97, 98, somewhere along in there, called Wings. Wings was a great television series about two brothers who were trying to save their aviation business, flying small planes, kind of like that one sitting here at the runway you can see sitting up on the stand. And Tony Shalhoub played in that series, played a great character, a very fun character. And of course, a lot of your favorite movies that you like. I know I've got a lot of people on my channel that love the movie Tombstone. I can't remember the character's name in the movie Tombstone, but he was the character who pulled the knife out on Doc Holliday when they arrested Curly Bill, and went toward Val Kilmer's character Doc Holliday, saying, "The drunk piano player, you're probably seeing double." Then, of course, Doc Holliday pulls out his second gun and says, "There, now I have a gun for each of you." That guy played Rolln in the TV series Wings. And it all kind of circles around, guys. They're all identifiable characters, but it's funny how many of those big characters from back in the day, such as Johnny Depp being in the original Nightmare on Elm Street, It's funny how those people who were in the horror genre, me and R1 was talking about this earlier, those people that were into the horror genre went on to just have massive, great careers. Robert Englund had a great career. Freddy Krueger. Johnny Depp went on to be huge. Courtney Cox went on to be huge. Of course, she's a different movie. But, yeah, guys. That's going to be the 13 Ghosts. A great movie, and I really want you guys to check this movie out if you do have the ability to do that. Alright guys, sorry about that. I had to make a pit stop, get a little liquid gold, and like I say, I don't record at gas stations and stuff like that because I just can't imagine there's a whole lot of interest in watching me pump gas. But anyway, so back to 13 Ghosts, guys. Like I said, that's kind of the plot of the movie, and I'm not going to tell you how the movie ends because, again, I do these videos because I am a horror movie fan, and I do these videos because I want you guys to either visit or revisit a certain movie. But you know, 13 Ghosts was one of those that and I remember in 2001 when it did come out, I can remember that we were going through a lot in 2001 when this movie did come out. But I can remember also that this movie in particular, because there were certain movies that came along that was kind of in that same timeline. House on Haunted Hill came along, and then a little bit later on The Conjuring came out. So there's movies that kind of change over to that new millennium style of horror movie. And to me, 13 Ghosts was kind of, like I said before, with the visuals and everything, 13 Ghosts was definitely one of those movies that brought the genre into the 21st century in a proper way. Well done, story was well told, great graphics. But in, you know, in horror movie genre, and like I said, you'll find this in any genre of movies, and I think I spoke on this in the last episode with Nightmare on Elm Street. In all genres, you're going to find super fans, whether it be action or whether it be Western movies. I love Westerns. I love all movies, which y'all will see. And actually, I'll touch on that after I get through with this present thought I'm on. But you'll find super fans, but man, in the horror genre, the horror genre fans, horror movie fans are just, we're a different breed. We are very specific about things that we like. We're very specific in the way a story should be told. It's not that we're picky, I don't think so much as I would say that we are picky. It's just, we come to expect certain things from our genre, and most of the time our genre does deliver on what we expect. Now, to go back to that train of thought that I just had about movies and being a movie fan, after we get through the Spooktober series here, I had spoke to R1 about this earlier today, actually, about doing a Monday movie rewind segment in the regular Rolln with Tbone episode. So let me know what you guys would think about that. Where I just each episode of Rolln with Tbone, I will, you know, donate 2 or 3 minutes of the video to just a random movie that I would bring up that I want you guys to watch, or, you know, maybe it'd be a movie y'all have seen that would start a good conversation in the comments about. Basically, it's all designed, guys, to try to bring more viewers to my channel. You know, my views are low on YouTube, like I've always said. My Facebook views are a lot higher than my YouTube views, and you know, I know why that is. I understand I haven't had that one YouTube video to go viral that's just brought everybody to my channel, but I'm very thankful for the people that I do have. You know, I've got like 60 subscribers, I think, and I may never grow past that, but if I've got, you know, a good core of people that not necessarily saying they're my fans, but they just enjoy what I do. You know, that keeps me motivated and interested in doing videos. And like I said, now Facebook and YouTube are different night and day. My views are a little better on Facebook, but YouTube this past year is where I've been trying to pour all of my thoughts into the YouTube side of the YouTube platform, basically. But there's just certain things that I'm not going to do. I tried doing a couple of shorts. I got decent views because they were saying that you had to do shorts and put out shorts to get in the algorithm or whatever. So I did shorts, and some of them did have pretty decent views on them, but still it wasn't enough views to help my channel grow. So I thought, you know, I'm not going to waste my time doing shorts. I'm just going to stick to my format, which is the weekly episodes of Rolling with Tbone. And, you know, hope for the best. You know, who knows what's going to happen in the future. I may blow up and get 120 viewers. Who knows? Or subscribers. But until then, I'm happy where I'm at because I got a good group of folks that come and hang out in the live chat with me each week. And, so, yeah. You guys come and hang out with us on Monday. And, I wasn't going to address this. I wasn't really going to address this, but I think I will because, you know, Monday, when I was looking for a day to put my videos out, I was looking for a day that didn't have a whole lot of other content creators like that I follow putting out their content. I didn't want to be on the same day because I didn't want to step on nobody, or I didn't want to get overshadowed, or I didn't want nobody trying to. So I did Monday. When I initially sat down and figured out that I was going to do my episodes of Rolling with Tbone on Mondays, there was really nobody that I was subscribed to doing videos on Mondays. Mondays and Thursdays were left pretty well much wide open. So I chose Mondays, and for Mondays has always worked out for me. It's better. I like doing my Mondays. But, you know I had kind of, you know, last week I had a premiere that premiered, you know, at the same time mine did. It didn't really hurt me at all. But, you know, I try not to step on anybody else's premiere times because that's just not what I'm about. That's not what I want to do. I don't want to grow my channel by hurting someone else's channel, if that makes sense. But anyway, guys, I'll tell you what, that's going to bring episode 2 of Rolling with Tbone Presents Spooktober to an end. Episode 2, of course, the 13 Ghosts. Go check it out. I'm going to drop the video right here, guys. Y'all guys remember to like, share, comment, subscribe. If you're new here, check some of my videos out, subscribe. Comment a scary movie you think I should check out. And don't forget about the Rolling with Tbone challenge for YouTube content creators to watch a scary movie and record yourself watching it, put it on your channel. Hit my comments and say what movie watched, check it out, or something like that. Movie done, challenge done. And I'll check your channel out and hopefully find a new channel to subscribe to. But for now, guys, I'm going to back out of here. Y'all take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and until the next time, guys, thank you for watching.